All right. Over 100 on the call. Good deal. Little Christmas music for everybody. Hope everybody's doing well on this Sunday. Couple of what are we 12 days from Christmas? I know you guys got your countdown. Hey, before we get started, everybody just throw in the chat, man. What do you want for Christmas? What do you want for Christmas? Somebody put something in the chat. Lots of pips, 1,000 pips. All right. Perfect AIRO, more money, all the strategies, 8-figure bank account. All right. Live account, money to fund a live account, winning trades, a car. All right. This is in the market, big money. All right, good. So hopefully, everything we talk about tonight, it will help you guys to achieve your goals and get these for yourself. All right. Best present is education. It can help you to achieve all the goals that you have. So, for those who don't know who I am, my name is Nathan Williams. I'm the developer of AIRO. So, welcome to the AIRO 101 call. This call happens every Sunday night at the same time. It is a introductory call to AIRO. We'll have some announcements about AIRO on this call. We'll also go over just the basics of AIRO, how to use it, what is AIRO made up of, how does it work, and we'll briefly touch on strategy number one, and we'll go from there. So first things first, we will start the call off with So we always want to start the call off with a disclaimer, because you guys know trading Forex is a risk. There are no guarantees. Past results do not guarantee future results. However, I want to show you guys some things, with AIRO that can help you to potentially have the same success as those who have been following the same rules. However, there are no guarantees, so definitely there is a risk when trading in any financial market, but specifically the Forex market, which we are going to discuss this evening. All right. Before we start, I'm going to show you guys. So for all 112 of you guys that are on here, you guys get to see the first peek at the strategies and rules, the official strategies and rules, the AIRO strategies and rules. You guys get to see the first peek of it. As soon as this call is over with, I will drop this into the announcement channel as well as into the chat. Now, the great thing about the announcement channel, guys, is it's a one-way channel, which means there's no chatting in the channel. So if you need anything, whether it be some of the videos, whether it be this document right here, whether it be links to log into this call or the live trading call on Wednesday, go into the announcements channel, because that channel is a one-way channel. Therefore, nothing will get lost in all the chats. All right. So this is the official AIRO strategies and rules document. It's a PDF. As you guys can see here, it's got the basic rules on page number 1. Page 2 got the strategy 1. Page 3, strategy 2. Page 4, strategy 3. Every week when I release a new strategy, I will update the PDF with another with the added strategy, and then repost that to the channel. So I'll get rid of the old one and update the new one. All right. So as you can see here, rules. Here are the 10 recommended pairs. All right. There's now a document that shows this here: recommended pairs, recommended take profit and stop loss. As you guys see here, recommended take profit and stop loss. You have TP1 10 pips, TP2 20 pips, stop loss 40 pips. It is recommended. Let me change that. Recommended. That 20 pips is the take profit. All right. Must be 20 plus pips away from opposite colored zone to enter a trade. If you don't understand this, we'll talk about this here shortly. if you're trading strategy number 2, take profit on H1 is 50 pips. Take profit on H4 is 100 pips. For the stop loss, I've seen a lot of you guys watching, asking questions about the stop loss for strategy 2. Pay attention to the video. I tell you exactly where to put your stop loss. All right. I tell you exactly where to put it. There is no set stop loss for H1 or H4 when you're using the strategy number 2. Please pay attention to the videos. They're there for a reason. All right. Must watch the video. I show you 2 different areas to put your stop loss. All right. The money zone is only to be used for Forex pairs, not crypto. I've seen a lot of you guys asking these questions over here. Watch the videos, guys. The videos are there for a reason. All right. So only Forex pairs is the money zone for. Not crypto, not indices, not gold, not silver. Only Forex pairs. All right. Do not trade outside of the money zone. Now, again, this is for beginners. You can do what you want. It's your money. It's at risk. If you're looking for the highest probability trades, you want to trade inside the money zone. All right. Do not trade against the trend. If you want the highest probability trades, you will trade with the trend and not against the trend. All right. And then lastly, follow the rules of each video, which means if you're going to watch the video, take notes. Watch the video in its entirety. Don't watch half of it. Think you might have a strategy, then try to do it, then lose, then blame the software, then blame this, blame that. Oh, this happened, this happened. Follow the rules of each video, please. They're there for a reason, all right? Now, after that, I break down each strategy. Strategy number 1, we'll go over this one today. Is the bounce arrow go? Gives you step 1, step 2, step 3, and the take profit and stop loss. Strategy number 2, gives you step 1, step 2, and then your take profit and stop loss if you're on the H1 or if you're on the H4. All right. Remember, H1 is if you are an intraday trader. H4 is if you're a swing trader. And then strategy 3 gives you all the steps 1 through 6, plus the recommended take profit and stop loss levels. So this document is here to be your guide. All right. For everyone who has questions. And again, as a teacher, an educator, I understand that people learn different ways. So we have calls like this where they're more interactive. You can ask questions. All right. I have documents like this I'm going to put out, which will allow those who are good at just being able to read and conceptualize everything. That works. Then there is the videos themselves, and then eventually, and then also on the live trading call, that also will be a call while we wait for trades. That will be a call where we actually, you get to ask questions about the strategy. So there are 3 different ways to learn. I'm even going to make flashcards that show what entries look like for each strategy. So literally I have a screenshot of the chart and I'll put little indicators on there to identify why this trade was a valid trade. All right. So I'll have multiple ways for you guys to be able to learn how to master AIRO, which a lot of you guys wanted to for Christmas, but you have to utilize the tools. So I'm trying to make it as robust as possible by offering so many different ways to learn. But if you don't take the time on any of them, I can't guarantee, I can't guarantee success regardless, but you're not going to have the success level that you see others are having. Those that are taking the time to watch the videos 2, 3, 4, 5 times, which they're all pretty short. And then those who are taking the time to get on the live calls, those are the ones having the success. And I'm not talking about the experienced traders. I'm talking about the brand new traders who've never traded. There was an individual last week, never traded Forex, brand new to manual trading. He won 58 out of 71 trades. That's 82%, made over $3,800. You can do it too. Brand new trader, 58 out of 71 trades, 82% win rate, and made over $3,800 in 1 week. You have to just take your time, study the material given to you. I give you multiple ways to study, whether it be this document or the flashcards I'm getting ready to put out as well, this call, the live trading call, or the videos. That's 5 different ways. Take your time, guys. Take your time, all right? So this just want to show you guys this document. I'll be updating this document. So when the new video comes out, the new PDF will be launched as well with the updated strategy until we get to the end. That way you guys will always have this document to rely on. And then as we continue to grow, you guys will also have this to, to share with others. All right. Again, the announcements channel for anything as well. So I want to talk about the update real quick. The update, there are some additional protocols that have come out, that we have to actually test in the VPS a little more thoroughly each update before we put them out so that you guys have a good experience. And so this is to make sure that you guys have a good experience going forward. All right. These rules will be submitted in the announcements channel. If you don't have access to the announcements channel, I put the link in the bag chat, AIRO bag chat. The link is in there. All right. For those who don't have the link to the AIRO bag chat, can somebody post it here in the chat so that those can jump on it, can get on it, please? Thank you. All right. Update on the updates. Again, like I was saying, there are additional protocols. As you guys have seen, for those who have had the EAs, there have been some issues just due to how the updates were rolled out. So now there are additional protocols, which has pushed back the update. We should see the update today. The beautiful thing about the manual indicators that when the new update comes out, I will announce it ahead of time, which I've already done so. So, be prepared for that. That way, when it comes out, all you have to do is just update, reboot your VPS, and you'll have the newest update, and then you'll be good to go. All right. Should not affect any trades. Or if anything, get out of any trade you're in, which you shouldn't be any trades in right now anyway. It's not the time for the money zone. But look out for the update potentially before the money zone starts. That way, you guys have access, to that. All right. So again, apologies for not having it out yesterday. Just wanted to go through some more thorough checks inside the VPS to ensure that when things are rolled out, it's rolled out well. All right. I'm going to share my screen here. We'll get on the charts. So for those who are new, I created AIRO, for one reason. As an educator, for those I've been teaching Forex for the last 2 years. I've been trading for the last 4.5. And, my first year was pure chaos. All I learned how to do was really draw trend lines and blow accounts. That's all I really knew how to do. I didn't really have a system down. So, as I got to the point where I was successful in trading, once I got a mentor, and I started teaching people, I understood that not everyone could truly understand strategies. It's a lot of screen time, a lot of deciphering. There's a lot that goes into it. So I wanted to make a visual indicator that would make trading easier for you, because all Forex really is understanding how the market is moving. And it's just a visual. Once you draw and analyze the charts, it gives you a visual, no matter how you diagram it. If you use Fibonacci, if you use moving averages, MACD, RSI, if you use, Bollinger Bands, support resistance zones, supply and demand, it doesn't matter what you use. Everyone uses something or a combination of tools to help them get a visual indication of where price may be going. And then they will make trades based on that. So I wanted to make the process simple. I wanted to make it easy so that beginners could have success quickly, not have to be on the charts and spend hundreds of hours, thousands of hours like I have, losing lots of money. I want them to be able to have the opportunity to that in their second week is my goal. By their second week, they can finally stop using their demo account and use a live account and have the opportunity to make trades successfully and catch pips. All right, catch more than they lose. That is my goal, and that was the goal of building AIRO. So I will pull up the chart here, and I will show you guys what AIRO looks like for those who are brand new. And actually, before we start, let me try to see if there's any Q&A I can answer before we jump on these charts. All right, so we got a user who said that yesterday they grew their account by 20% using AIRO to trade BTC, so Bitcoin. And hey, AIRO works on everything. So you guys understand, AIRO works on forex pairs, indices, precious metals, oil, cryptocurrency, options. You guys will see options next year, as well as stocks. So do not sleep on AIRO. All right. The way that AIRO should be utilized is that if you want to concentrate on just forex pairs, hey, concentrate just on that. If you want to concentrate just on gold and indices or cryptocurrency, whatever the case may be, concentrate on that one. Stick to that. Don't try to be a jack of all trades and trade everything, especially if you're new. Concentrate on one area. Pick one strategy, which I prefer strategy number one. That is the most highly profitable trade that's out there, highly accurate. That is what that strategy is what I recommend that everyone start off with. All right. Again, there are multiple strategies because everyone trades differently. You don't need to use all of them. Find one, maybe two that you like, master those one or two, and make your money. All right. We'll talk about adjusting the money zone. I'll go over the new update here real soon. Again, the new file will be in its place. Again, when it's launched, we will let you guys know in the announcements channel. Make sure you have access to the AIRO announcements channel. Do not ask questions in the chat because the announcements will be made. Please pay attention. In the announcements channel, we will announce anything having to do with AIRO, updates, Zoom calls, whatever. Look at the announcement. If it's not in the announcement channel, it hasn't come out yet. All right. Yes, we'll go over all that. So we will also go over some basic stuff with MT4, how to put a trade on, things of that nature. However, I'll let you guys know there are videos in AP Academies. So if you guys are in the back office, AP Academy, there are videos that give you basics of how to trade. All right. This call is supposed to be for AIRO. Now I will go over some basics, but you guys need to take the time to watch the videos so that you guys can understand exactly how to use MT4 and have the opportunity to be successful using AIRO. This is not a get rich quick scheme. This is not a tool that is so easy you just push a button and make money. You still have to understand the basics of how to use MT4 and the basics of how to use AIRO. They're simple, but you need to take the time to learn those. All right. The broker that I utilize is Hugo's Way. All right. Let's go back to the chart here. I am in MT4. I have pulled up my chart. Now, my chart may look different than yours for those who are looking at the chart. To help your chart look like this, what you want to do is you want to right click on the screen. You want to come down to properties. And here are the settings. Take a screenshot of it. Take a picture of it with your phone. These are the settings to make your chart look like mine in the background there. All right. This is the colors. All right. And then on the backside on common, here, take a picture of this, take a screenshot of that. All right. Once you're done with that, you want to right click. You want to go to properties on your chart, and you want to take that screenshot or that picture you took, and you want to put in the exact same settings that I had. So again, take a screenshot of this, take a picture. And here's the color side. Take a picture of this. Take a screenshot. All right. Once you've done that, put the settings in on yourself. Select OK. It'll look like this. Then the next thing you want to do is you want to come to this little icon right here on your dashboard of MT4. It's called templates. Hover your mouse over it. You see it's called templates. You want to click on that one. You want to save template. Save template. I call mine default. There you see here. Boom, default. I call it default. That way, if I mess anything up, all I have to do now is, and I'll show you. I'm going to throw AIRO on here real quick. Boom. I just hit the default button. I hit default. It brings me right back to where I want to be. The basic chart. All right. Now, when you first start off, after you've done your this is the first thing you should do is set your default chart up. All right. Doesn't matter what chart you go on to, just pick a chart, put in the settings, save it, and then boom, call it default. All right. Next, what you want to do is you want to click on this button right here, this icon. It's called Navigator. It's the manila, the gold folder with the gold star. Click on that one right there. Hit indicators right here. Hit the plus button next to it. And you should see AIRO V2. Now, if you don't have AIRO V2, which it should not be out just yet, should be getting here relatively soon. But right now, you should see just AIRO. All right. AIRO V2, it should be out tonight. What you want to do is double click on that one. When you see it, the file is going to be called AIRO V2. You'll see that it says AIRO V2 on it here. All right. So instead of AIRO, it just says AIRO V2. And then when you come to common, select allow DLL imports. All right. And then go to inputs. And you'll see the difference. And inputs, you will see that you only have desktop alerts and push notifications to your phone. Make sure they're both true. They should be. And then you have your money zone. Here's how you change the time frame. And I give you the parameters here. Money zone, 12 a.m. Central Standard Time to 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. That is based on your broker. All right. For me, on my broker, and I have Hugo's Way, 0800, so 0800 to 2000, which this is military time. This is 12 a.m. midnight Central Standard Time to 12 noon Central Standard Time for my broker, which is Hugo's Way. Your broker may be different. So what you want to do is, let's say your broker is an hour behind. You come in here and you just type in 07 semicolon 00 to 1900. That's it. And then you hit OK. Once you hit OK once, you want to hit it again, and it will automatically adjust everything on here for you. All right. It will adjust the money zone based on your broker's server time. All right. That way, no matter where you're at, you have that. This is an update everybody wanted to see. And we got it out for you guys. So depending on what broker you have, you now have access to see that you need or have access to the broker. To your broker, you have access now to change the money zone to match your broker's server time so that your money zone will match up with the time of day that mine matches up. Now I'm going to go back in here and change it back because that's not my server time. So 08, 00, 20, 00. Okay. All right. So now that I've done that, I now want to go back to templates. All right. We'll close that out. We're going to go back to templates, save template, and call it AIRO, AIRO V2, whatever you want to call it. I just leave mine at AIRO. That way I always know we're good to go. Now, so that would be one update. There's only two updates or three updates with this version. First update was that I have now given you guys access to change the money zone to your server, your broker server time. That way it matches up with the 12 a.m. to 12 p.m. Central Standard Time window. All right. Number two, a lot of people were getting confused by the retests and the weak zones out here. I took those away. Now it's just completely just the zones themselves. All right. And then the other update is I added the pip counter here. All right. This is the AIRO's pip counter. So how this works is, and let me go to crypto real quick and I'll show you guys how it works. I'm on my demo account tonight so I can show you guys without having to lose money. All right, here's M5. I went to Litecoin. The reason I'm going to crypto is because cryptos, I guess it didn't really matter. I forgot the market is open. I forget, man. It's been a long day, guys. So let's go to GJ. GJ is Bay for me. It's my favorite Forex pair to trade. I have arrow on there. We're going to zoom in. I'm on the 15-minute chart. That's the time frame you should be on for Forex pairs. I zoom in. Now, I am going to hit, it doesn't really matter. We're at a resistance zone here. I'm going to hit, I'm going to hit sell. Doesn't really matter. All right. So as soon as I hit the sell, all right, you can see here is my entry. And you see here, took a second, but you can see here now it pops up. All right. Tells me overall arrow pips. I'm at -2 pips right now. And it tells me my positions. So if I open up another chart, let's go EJ. All right. And we're going to throw arrow on there. No matter what chart you're on, you'll always be able to see what positions you are in on your chart, as well as overall how many pips you are negative or positive. So if I enter into a buy here with EJ, and you see here, I go back to GJ, boom, I've got GJ. Now, you can see here, overall, I'm down -3, -4 pips. All right, just keep forth as the price keeps moving around. You can see here, GJ is red, EJ is green. If GJ, if the Forex pair you have here is red, that means you're in a sale. All right. If it's green, that means that current pair you're in a buy. All right. Overall, it doesn't matter. Overall, we'll just show you your positive or negative total pips for however many positions you're in. And then you can see that if on these pairs here, if you are negative, and the number, how many pips you're negative, and it'll be red. When you're positive, when you are positive, this will turn green and it'll say plus on the front. All right, same thing up here. This will turn green or plus. So no matter what Forex pair you're on, all right, as long as you have the software on there, you'll be able to see where you're at, no matter what. You'll be able to see that change. All right, this right here will match up to your position calculator down here. It'll tell you, it's calculating your pips on if you're negative or positive, based on that you're down here. Every position you have down here that's open will be on your way. You can close that and just kind of monitor it all. All right. As trades close, these will disappear. So as you can see here, if I go in here and I close the GJ trade, all right, close it back here. You can see here, boom, EJ is the only one that shows. So whenever price hits take profit or stop loss or you close it out, it will disappear from the charts. All right. Now, as you add more pairs, you'll see this kind of move up. It starts down here in the bottom right-hand corner. That way, as you add more pairs, you'll have all this on the screen. But this is how this works, guys. To effectively see this, you want to make sure you have your shift in right here. You want to make sure you have that set to the right. So you want to make sure this icon is selected so that you have this blank area out here to be able to show your pip counter. So that's how the pip counter works. And this is the last final update, for this version. All right. This is the last final version. Now, we've got 154 people on the call. I will give you guys a sneak peek of what's to come next year. It's in beta phase. I'm doing some thorough testing on it. But to kind of help out with a lot of what's going on with the VPS, I'm trying to create a file that's a little bit easier to use, smaller, so that it doesn't take up as much space and bog down. But then also make it easier for you guys to be able to see what's going on as far as in the overall market. So I'm working right now on the AIRO market scanner. So I will show you what that looks like. This gives you an idea of what it looks like here of the market scanner. All right. So I've got my 10 pairs here. And of course, for me, I trade SPX 500 and gold. So I have 12 pairs here. I have 4 time frames. And again, the way the parameters are set, you'll have full control. You can select whatever pairs you want. You can select however many time frames you want. But for me, I only like looking at these 4 time frames, and I only care about these 12 pairs. All right. Whenever I get a arrow that pops up on any time frame, if it's a down arrow, it will pop up right. It's gonna pop up red when the final version is done. It'll pop up red on any of these squares. So if it pops up here, that means on the H1 time frame, I had a down arrow for GBP NZD. All right. If it's green, arrow, it'll post green here. And then all I have to do is, like you see here, GBP JPY, I hit H1, it takes me to the H1 chart for GBP JPY automatically. All right, that's it. And you can see here, this chart is attached and it has the newest version. You can see here, it's still updating. So we'll go over all that when the update comes out. I just want to give you guys a sneak peek since you guys took the time to get on the calls. That's the beautiful thing about these calls, guys. Those who get on the calls get rewarded with sneak peeks. Actually, we'll have some prizes, Bitcoin being passed around, whatever the case may be. But those people that get on the calls are going to be rewarded for taking the time to get on the calls. All right. There is no quick get rich quick scheme with AIRO. It's effective. You still have to understand how to utilize it. All right. You still have to get on the calls to ask the questions. You have to watch the videos. But I want to give you guys a sneak peek of what the market scanner is going to look like. And we will be utilizing this. It'll be rolling out next year sometime. This probably will be the next updated version, so that it makes it easier, because literally all you will need is just one chart. And then when you select it, it will automatically open up the chart for you. All right. And so we'll go over all that later on down the line. I just want to give you guys a sneak peek of what it looks like. All right. So before I go any further, let me check see what we got in the chat here. Version 2, we already talked about it, guys. Pay attention. All updates will be talked about in the announcements channel. All right. Version 2 will be out later this evening. I've already talked about it 4 or 5 times on this call. Please pay attention, guys. Save your time. Save your time in asking questions over and over again. The chat group, if you look in this chat, somebody has already posted a link for the chat group, guys. Somebody's already posted a link for the chat group. Let's go to Q&A. No, I did not say you can reboot the VPS now. We will let you know in the announcements, guys. It's the last time I'm going to say it for this call. We will announce in the announcements channel for AIRO when the update is good to go and the directions you need to take to ensure you see the new updated version. All right, so last time I'll make that announcement there. Please check the announcement channel. For red folder news. So if you're targeting for those who are new, worried about news, if you have a red folder, which means that type of news has the highest probability of moving the market in either direction, you want to stop or do not take trades 30 minutes before news, and then you want to resume taking trades 30 minutes after news. All right. Or when it talks about red folder news or any news, you want to not trade 30 minutes before news. And then once news is over for 30 minutes, you can resume taking trades. As far as saving the default template on the VPS, that should be just a issue for you because we talked about this on the last call, and everyone was successful in being able to save their template. Whether it be AIRO template or the default. Send me the error that is giving you so that I can kind of give you an idea of what you may be doing wrong. You cannot put AIRO onto your mobile chart, guys. I'm sorry. This is only for MT4 on your desktop or your laptop. However, you have a VPS. So those who have a cell phone, please go into the back office, download. It walks you through about downloading your RDP, which allows you to connect to your VPS through Auvoria Prime on your cell phone. Therefore, you can take trades on your cell phone. I will also go over how to set up to get the actual notifications on your phone as well. What I do is when I receive a notification, I literally log into my phone. I look at if I don't have my computer near me, I look at my VPS to see that pair. Does it meet the rules? If so, I then put the trade from my phone, from the VPS. And then I'll go to my MT4 mobile app to put my take profit and my stop loss and to kind of just watch my trades themselves. I'm not really sure what clarification you need with the money zone. The time frame is from 12 a.m. Central Standard Time to 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. So wherever you're at in the world, you need to adjust your time frame based on the Central Standard Time Zone. All right, 12 a.m. to 12 noon. Let's see here. Your broker's time zone. So to go back to sharing my screen, I will show you an easy way to understand your broker's time zone. All right. So if you go to a default chart, all right, just a 15-minute chart. You put your go over here, get your crosshairs, put your crosshair on the current candle. All right, on the current candle, and then come down to the very bottom of the chart. You'll see here, you can see here, down here at the very bottom, you can see here, down here, right now it says it's 12/14/2020, all right, at 5:30. Well, in my time zone, I'm not even in December 14th. It's still December 13th, and it's 9:39. All right. This is your server, your broker server time. It's all based on the broker you're on. So based on this right here, I understand if I know 12 Central Standard Time, I can convert this. So right now, I know from my broker standpoint that they are 8 hours ahead of time. My broker is 8 hours ahead of my time zone. So right now it is 5:30 a.m. That's what candle we're on, the 5:30 a.m. candle. If I do the math, 5:30 is 8 hours ahead of where I currently live, because it's December 14th, 5:30, which means it's the next day. It's Monday, December 14th, 5:30, even though I know right now it is Sunday, 9:30, my time frame. So I know based on math, this is 8 hours ahead. That is why I know that, like, okay, if they're 8 hours ahead, then I need to convert. If my money zone is supposed to start at 12 p.m., let me throw the chart on there real quick. It's supposed to start at 12 p.m. midnight, Central Standard Time, and it goes to 12 noon, then I know that my time zone, you see here, you can see there, boom, look down here. The money zone starts at 800. That is 8 o'clock in the morning. All right? 8 o'clock in the morning, because they're 8 hours ahead of me. 8 o'clock in the morning for them is midnight my time, because I'm 8 hours behind them. Remember, they're 8 hours ahead of me, which means I'm 8 hours behind them. So 8 o'clock in the morning is midnight my time. And if you come here, 2000, for those who don't understand military time, anything past 1300, so 1300 all the way to 2300, that's military time. If you need to go look it up, go Google it. All right, you can do so. Another way you can do it is, if you do know what time zone your broker uses, you can go on their website for your broker and find out what time zone they use. You can convert your time zone to your time, and then you can adjust when you come in here to the settings. You can adjust your time zone, the beginning and the end, to match up to 12 a.m. Central to 12 p.m. Central. All right. All right. So I will try to come out with a cheat sheet for money zone conversions for multiple brokers. So if you're on KOT Forex, LCFMX, L this, or LQDX, there's a lot of L's out there. I'll try to pick 5, 8, 10 brokers and give you the time zones or the beginning and end for the money zone for those to make it easy for you guys to have that. But again, you got to do the work, guys. I mean, this is how you convert it. But I'll try to figure out that cheat sheet for you guys based on those brokers. But this is how I know how to convert it for my time frame. And that's the easiest way to know how to do so. All right. So we're on a demo account. before I go over AIRO, I want to show you some basic tools on how to use Forex. Again, as I explained, somebody asked me to do this, but this is a AIRO call. This is not a MetaTrader 4 call. In the future, Auvoria Prime will have some live Forex training calls that teaches you the basic aspects of Forex. If you don't understand that, you need to plug into those guys. You need to plug into that. You have to understand the basics to be able to utilize the tool. So I'm gonna go over some basic tools here, and I'm also gonna go over how to enter a trade and how to close a trade. You've already seen me do it. I just did it, but I'm gonna go over it so that you guys can see it. So I already showed you how to set up a default chart, all right, and save that. You already have my settings. If you want to make it look like this, if you don't, that's fine. All right, you can see up here. First things first, if you want to add the 10 Forex pairs that we recommended, and again, I've got the document that has those, that where no one has to ask and keep asking about the 10 Forex pairs. Well, you guys have a document with that information in there. You want to go to View on the menu bar, Symbols, and when you go to View Symbols, as you can see here, you will have FX May, and this is going to vary. Everything's going to look different depending on what your broker calls these folders. So FX majors are just your 7 major Forex pairs. You want to double click on the pairs that you want to see. So for me, I only want to see GBP USD because I don't trade the others. I had them highlighted because I pull them up for others. But if you, so that you can, I'll explain where these are seen later, but this is how you select your 10 Forex pairs to be able to look at later on down the line. So you just making sure that the icon with the money sign in it, the square here, is gold. If it's grayed out, it won't show. If it's gold, it will. Next, you want to go to your Forex crosses, FX crosses. All right. Here, you want to make sure you do the same thing. All right. Euro I don't want Euro CAD. I don't want Euro Chef. All right, we got those there. All right, great. So I have my 9 here and my 1 on the other chart. All right. Don't need that one either. Come on now. My broker gave me a problem. So once you've done all that, you highlighted the pairs you need. And again, the 10 Forex pairs, I will walk through those, are going to be GBP AUD, GBP CAD, GBP CHF, GBP JPY, GBP NZD. So all 5 GBP pairs here. Then you have EUR NZD, EUR JPY, EUR GBP, EUR AUD. Don't worry about this CHF right now. I don't know why it won't let me close it out. All right, those are 9 right there. And then the 10th one is under FX majors, GBP USD. So there's 6 GBP pairs. GBP stands for Great Britain Pound, as you see it there. GBP USD is the Great Britain Pound US dollar. All right. And then EUR is the euro. All right. So there's 6 Great Britain Pound pairs. There's 4 euro pairs. Once you've done that, you hit close. And then this icon right here, right underneath file, it's a little white chart with a green plus sign. You click on that one. Everything you pulled up will show here. So we go to FX majors, it'll show you all the FX majors. If you go to FX crosses, it'll show you all the crosses. All right, it should only show the 9 under FX crosses and then the 1 under the majors. All right, once you've done that, you now can select those charts. Boom, you just come in here, you select it. Actually, let me close mine out for you guys real quick. We'll close it out. Close it out. As you guys can see on the pip counter, it just went +1. That's how it looks like when you go into the positive. Euro JPY, we're in the buy. So you already know because of the color of it. +0 means we're broke even. Now it says +1. We are up 1 pip. And it's just fluctuating right now. That's how that works. The more trades you're in, the better. well, not really better, but more trades are in, the higher this number will be or the lower number will be. It will average out and give you a total true picture of all the trades you're in. All right. This makes it a little easier for you guys to be able to show a little bit of proof out there. So when you send screenshots, you can now send screenshots of your pip counter, as well as screenshots of your closed trades with all the money that you made. So I like to show this a lot. It's a lot easier to show how many pips I've caught and then what I'm trading. All right. So I'm close this out here. We'll go back here. We'll go back to FX majors. Select GBP USD. There's the chart. It just pulled up for me. They already have the default template, so we're good. Now all I have to do is open up the other 10. So I just keep going through here, finding all 10s. I found the one in FX majors. I go find the other 9 in the crosses. I add those. I'm just going to add 2 for now, but you just add all 10. Make sure they're on the M15, so the 15-minute time frame. That's the strategy. We use the M15, and then you go up here and add AIRO. Boom, add AIRO, and you're set. Now that we've added AIRO, we're good to go. You add AIRO, you come to Euro GBP, you select AIRO, and we're good to go. Now you don't have to worry about having to go and double click to add it every time and change the settings. You've already saved the default templates. All right. Now let's go figure it out. All right. Now to actually put a trade on. Again, I'm gonna go over the basics for you guys. So to place a trade, you want to right click on the black part of the screen, select one-click trading or Alt plus T. All right, one-click trading or Alt plus T. Select that, you get this icon in the top left-hand corner. All right. Literally, if I click on this part of the screen where it says sell, it'll put it in a sell trade for me. If I click this side where it says buy and the price, it will buy at this price for me. All right. And then here in the middle is your lot size. Now, for lot sizes, I recommend, from a standpoint of being diligent about your money management, I recommend utilizing a 0.01 lot size for every 1,000. Now, what does that mean? Let's go look at it. So 0.01 is a micro lot or 10-cent lot. Boom. You see that a 0.01 lot size is a micro lot or a 10-cent lot. All right. Micro lots go from 0.01 to 0.09. All right. So if I have a $500 account, I want to utilize a 0.05 because I have 5 $100 bills. So I use one micro lot for every $100. And so a 0.05 lot size is 50 cents. So that means every pip price moves up or down, I'm either up 50 cents or down 50 cents. All right. On a $500 account. Now, if I have a $1,000 account, then 0.01 times 10 is a 0.1 lot size. So let's see what that equates to. 0.1 lot, 0.1 is a mini lot or dollar lot. All right, so a 0.1 is a mini lot or a dollar lot, which means that a 0.1 is $1 per pip. So if I'm using a dollar lot size, every pip move, I'll be up or down $1. So the more pips I'm up, the more dollars I make. The more I'm down, the more dollars I'm down. All right. Mini lots go from 0.1 to 0.99. All right. So what that means is mini lots go from $1 to $9.99 or $9.90, which is what a 0.99 lot is. All right, $9.90. 0.1 to 0.99. All right. And then my favorite is the standard lot. So a 1.00 standard lot or $10 lot. So a standard lot, a 1.00, if we write it, it's $1, but it's called a standard lot, and it's actually $10 per pip. So if price goes up 1 pip, I'm up $10. If price goes down 1 pip, I'm down $10. All right. So if you see the math in this, every lot size, you just move the decimal place over 1 place to the right, and that's what it equates to from a dollar standpoint. All right. And let's see here. Standard lots go from 1.00 to infinity. And I say infinity because it's all based off of how much money you have in your account. I have seen a screenshot of someone from a bank, trading their account, and they had a 100,000 lot on. A 100,000 lot trade is actually $1 million per pip. $1 million per pip. That's the kind of money the banks trade with, which is ridiculous. Wish I had that kind of money. But that kind of gives you an idea. If you have an unlimited bank account, you can put on a humongous lot size. All right. Make sure you practice proper risk management. If you guys want to take screenshots of this, pictures of this, that's fine. Let me add this in here as well. I recommend a 0.01 lot size for every $100. All right. So if you have a $10,000 account, you should be using a standard lot. All right. This is what I recommend, and here's why I recommend it. So if a 0.01 lot size is 10 cents and you have a $100 account, you have to lose 1,000 pips before you lose all your money, which means you have a lot of opportunity to take trades before you lose 1,000 pips, unless you just put a trade on gold, go to sleep for 2 days, well, actually not even 2 days, for a couple of hours sometimes, depending on the day or what's going on, you could lose all your money. But that's what it does. That 0.01 lot size for every $100 allows you to have some wiggle room. It allows you to manage your money. All right. So for example, when we trade, we use take profit of 20 pips, stop loss of 40 pips. So if you lose 40 pips on a trade with a 0.01 lot size, that is only $4. So on a $100 account, you only lost $4. If you hit the take profit, which is 20 pips or more, but at 20 pips, you make $2. All right. But this is what I recommend. Here's lot sizes. Understand what to put in here, as well as what I recommend for every $100. All right. As you can see here, my account size in the demo account is $191. All right. We're up on Euro JPY, 52 cents. Once you put a trade on, so I hit buy earlier. Let's go to that chart here. We're going to go to Euro JPY. We'll put AIRO on there. Boom, boom, boom. As you guys remember, I put that trade on earlier. So once you put a trade on, and all I did, and I showed you guys, all I did was hit this buy button. That's it. So I'm going to hit if you want to close the trade out early, you just select this icon right here, which is the terminal icon. Just a little white piece of paper looking like icon with a blue border on the left-hand side. It's called the terminal. You select that, and you go to trade down here. On trade, you'll be able to see your overall balance. You'll be able to see the order number. You'll be able to see the time. Are you in a buy or sell? What size lot size? What symbol you're in? The price you got in at? Your stop loss, your take profit. I'll show how I do all that later. Over here in a second. What current price is? What your commission is. So right now, even though I'm up 17 cents, I'm actually down 13 cents overall because there's a commission of 30 cents in this trade. All right. If I want to close the trade, I just hit this little X next to where it says profit at. I'm up 29 cents. I hit the X next to it. that closes the trade out. That's all you do. If I want to put another trade on, we're in a buy, I select this buy. I hit buy. We're in a trade. If I want to close it, I just close the X right there. Now, if you want it, I'm going to show you two ways to do your take profit and stop loss. If we're in a buy, we want price to go up. Therefore, our take profit needs to be above where we get in at. So to set your take profit, put your mouse on the actual entry line, which is the dotted green line here. You'll see it says drag to modify. So you click on it, hold. So you click and hold and drag it. You'll see right here that its pips are going up. All right, so I'm gonna go up here to 200 pips. Boom, that's 202 pips. That's 202 pips, but really that's 20.2 pips. All right. So once I get to where I like it, I just let go of my mouse. It drops my take profit right there. I put my mouse over it again, and you see all the information. You see it says profit. If price gets to this point, I'll make $11.65. And it tells you pips 202, which we know is 20.2, not 202. It's 20.2. All right. And then opposite for stop loss. Stop loss is if price goes the opposite direction. Put your mouse over the dotted line for your entry. Hold, click and hold that line, and then drag the opposite direction. And you see over here, the pips are going up. I want to go to 400 pips. And boom, that's negative 401. That's close enough. That's negative 40.1. You put your mouse on that line. Let me close the terminal real quick. We might be able to see it here. It can't. Let me pull it up for you guys so you guys can see it. But it gives you the same information. You see here, it tells you your profit is negative $17.08 and pips negative 296 or negative 29.6. So it tells you how much money you're going to lose if price comes down this way and hits this line before it hits this line. All right. That is the easiest way to set your stop loss and take profit. All right. That's what I would do first time around. Second time around, when you get better at counting pips, you can come down here and you can double click on the pair. So if I have multiple pairs up, select, double click on the, you want to change the take profit and stop loss at. So I got this here. I'm in the trade already. I can come here and put my stop loss. I can come here and put my take profit. If you know how to count your pips. All right, you can see here, I got into this trade at 126.184. So I already know from a take profit standpoint, I want 20 pips. So I need to go to 126.384. That's how you count the pips. And I'll show you exactly how to count the pips real quick. All right. And then stop loss is 126.184 minus 40 pips, which is 125.784. Yep. And then once I've done that, I hit close. I'm sorry, hold on. None of this look different. If I click on this here. I'm sorry. You need to double click at the stop loss or take profit bucket right here. All right. And you get this screen to come up. Looks a little different here. So I can come in here. I know my stop loss is 125.784 and then 126.384. That's 20 pips, 40 pip stop loss. If you've put your numbers in correctly, this modify button here will be blue. All right. For a buy, or to be red if you're in a sale. All right. If you put something in wrong, it'll be grayed out. That is how you know you put a number in wrong. But once you put numbers in right, you just select modify, it automatically moves everything for you like it just did for me. All right. That's how you select and do your stop loss and you take profit. All right. Now, real quick, I will show you guys how to calculate the stop loss and take profit. As well, and then I'll come back and I'll answer some questions real quick. All right, so let's pull up a random chart. All right, so rule number one, if there are 2 or 3 numbers after the decimal place, so you see here, this is the Great Britain pound US dollar, and there are actually 5 numbers after the decimal place, 1.35440. All right. So the rules are if there are 2 or 3 numbers after the decimal place, use the second number after the decimal place to count your pips. That's the pip, is the second number. If there are 4 or 5 numbers after the decimal place, use the fourth number after the decimal as your pip. So it's always going to be either the second number or the fourth number. I'll show examples. So with GBP USD here, there are 5 numbers. Therefore, the fourth number is the pip. So as you can see here, 1.35, let's just do 440. That's this top number here, all right? 1.35440. So the fourth number after the decimal place, 1, 2, 3, 4. The second 4 is your pip. So if price I don't have it on here. That's fine. All right. So if price is at 1.35440, if price goes to 1.35450, that is 1 pip up. So that's price has gone up 1 pip. If price goes to 1.35430, price has gone down 1 pip. That is how you count that. All right. That is how you count that. Now, if it's 10 pips, you just carry the 1 like you did back in elementary. Carry the 1. All right. So 1.35540 is 10 pips up. All right. And 1.35340 is 10 pips down. So you just carry the 1. So 1.35440 to 1.35540 is 10 pips up. 1.35440 to 1.35340 is 10 pips down. We're just carrying the 1, guys. That's it. We're just carrying the 1. That's how you count your pips if you have 4 or 5 numbers after the decimal place. All right, let's go find one with 2 or 3. I know GJ, which is my favorite pair to trade, only has 3. All right, so we'll go with this top number like we've been doing. That is 140.865. Boom. All right. So 140.875 is 1 pip up. $140.965 is 10 pips up. You see that? 865 plus 1. Again, the second number after the decimal place is our pip, which is the 6. So if 6 goes to 7, we're up 1 pip. If 865 goes to 965, we're up 10 pips. All right. And then in the sale, 140.855 is 1 pip down. $140.765 is 10 pips down. That's it. That's how simple it is, guys. It's either going to be the second or the fourth digit after the decimal place. That's it. See, that's it. And then you carry the 1 once you get past 9, 10, 20, when you get to 100, you do the same thing. All right? That's how you count pips. This is only for Forex pairs. Keep this in mind. This is only for Forex pairs when you're counting pips. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I can answer some questions here. So a question was asked, are we taking the trades through MT4 on the VPS or on our MT4 outside of the VPS? Doesn't matter. Both of your MT4s should be hooked up to your broker. So you should be able to enter the trade. So for example, on my cell phone, I can log into my VPS. I can take a trade. Because again, when you log in, you're going to see that buy button and the sell button. So if you look at it and you already know what the trade is, you select buy or sell. All right. So it doesn't matter if you do it on your phone or if you do it from your VPS. Yes, you can set it in the app. If you're setting your take profit and stop loss in the app, you have to know how to set your pips. You can't drag and drop. All right. You have to know how to count pips. That's why I just showed you guys how to count pips. I'm not going to go over indices. I only teach Forex pairs. This is a beginner call. The number on the side, I don't know if it can be bigger. I've never played around with that. I'm pretty sure there's an option for it, but I'm not 100% sure. Let's go see if we can't play around real quick with it. Someone asked, can we make these numbers on the side bigger? Right here. So I know if you put your mouse over here and hold and click, you can zoom out. But I don't know if it makes, I mean, I guess if you zoom in a little bit, it makes them a little bigger, but it looks like there's no option to really do so. All right. All right. So let's go over what you guys came here for. That's AIRO. All right. We'll go over AIRO. We'll go over strategy number 1. Let's pull up GJ. Real quick, a couple of little tools on here that you'll be using often. Plus and minus on the menu bar here. They zoom in, zoom out. That's all they do. All right. This button here is your scroll chart. So as long as this button is selected, you can't go backwards. If you do go backwards, as soon as price moves, it takes it back to current price. All right. Takes it back to current price. If you click it and turn it off, you can go back and do all the back testing you want, as far as you want. All right. Or as far as the chart will let you. But when that button's selected, it will always revert you back to current price. And then this right here is your shift. So again, if you turn it off, price is right here. You click like that, you get gives you a little space right there. All right, a little gap. This is your templates. These right here are just your times. So if I select this M30, all that means is that every 30 minutes these candles form. If I go to the M1, every 1 minute these candles form. If I go to the MN, is the month. Every 1 month these candles form. All right, that's all that is. The time frames are for the candlesticks. To ensure you have candlesticks here, you want to make sure this icon is selected. This says candlestick. You have what's called a bar chart. So if you see here when you zoom in, these are bars. You have a line chart, and then you have what's called candlestick charts. I recommend you utilize candlestick charts. All right. You have your mouse, which I'm using here, which is this icon here. Your cursor is here. The cursor is going to come in handy because, let me zoom in here. When you select your cursor, it tells you some things. You know, you can put your cursor here, click and hold the mouse, and then drag. And you can see here, there's information that's on the cursor itself. So for example, right here, that tells me the first number is 0. Let me do this. The first number is 1. Let me scroll up here. You see here, the first number is 1. That number represents what? That means from where I started to where I'm at, that's only one candle. If I go to the next candle, it's 2. Next candle, you see it turns to 3. Next candle is 4. Next candle 5. So each candle, it tells me how many candles away am I from where I started at. All right. The second number tells me what? Tells me the number of pips in the distance from where I started to where I'm at. So it says 1184. It's the same thing as I just explained to you with the pips, when you're counting your pips. When you are moving your pip, pulling, you're dragging, you're dropping your pips. It's not 1184 pips. It's 118.4. So remember that decimal. Just remember that. Just move over 1. So we'll go back up. 1177. That's really 117.7 pips. And then the third number there is just price. Where are we currently at with price? Where this cursor? This cursor is at 138.75. I'll move it up. The cursor is at 138.794. That is what this cursor tells you. All right. Then you have the horizontal line. Boom, boom, boom. That you can put on here. This is for strategy number 3. We'll go over that today as well. And I'll show you guys how to change the colors and all that and everything, and how to move those later on when we get to strategy number 3. So right now we're going to go over strategy number 1. But first, we're going to just show you AIRO. I'm going to walk you through AIRO itself. What does it contain? All right. So the first thing you see is you have these zones, these red and green rectangular areas. Red is a resistance zone. As you can see here, price, or these candlesticks, they go up to the zone, they bounce off the zone. They go up to the zone, they bounce off. They go up to the zone, they bounce off. Resistance is like the ceiling. If I take a ball and I throw it at the ceiling, it hits the ceiling and it bounces off. The green zone is support, or the floor. If I drop a ball on the floor, it hits the floor and it bounces off. Price came down, hit the floor, bounced off. All right. Now, if price goes through the ceiling or resistance, the resistance no longer exists. Same thing with the floor. If price goes through it, they no longer exist. Therefore, these zones will disappear. They appear and they disappear all the time on the charts. They are made to do so. This is not a flaw in the system. All right. One had an issue with this last week, saying that they could not enter into any trades because the zones kept appearing and disappearing, which means you were using the indicator the wrong way. Because if you lost every trade because of that, you weren't following the rules. Follow the rules. There were people, many people, beginners and experts, that were winning 80+% of the time. All right. I just gave you the statistics on the new guy. Brand new trader to manual trading, 58 wins, 13 losses out of 71 total trades. So he won 58 out of 71. He only had 13 losses, which means he won 82% of his trades, which is very, very good for a beginner, brand new to manual trading. And he made over $3,800. All right. Now, that's what these red zones and green zones represent. The candlesticks. You're like, Nate, why are they just all red or just all green? They don't look like that on my chart. But with AIRO, they will. There's a formula in the software so that when price is under a certain criteria, it will trend. When it's trending in one direction, it will be solid red. If you see a little pink, little salmon pink color, that means it is almost in a trend zone. I mean, it's not a confirmed downtrend, but it's heading that way. When it turns bright red, it is a confirmed downtrend. When it's dark green, it's almost a confirmed uptrend. It's starting to change its trend. When it gets bright green, the trend is confirmed uptrend. All right. Don't worry about the different shades of color. Green is up. Red is down. All right. Typically, not always, but typically over 90% of the time, if price is underneath the blue line, and I'll talk about that in a second, it's going to be red. Typically, if it's above the blue line, it's going to be green. You see sometimes that's not true, but that is the typical aspect. All right. So anytime you receive a trade, that you see here, down arrow typically is going to be red and underneath the blue line, and up arrow typically is going to be green and above. Sometimes it's not, but most of the time it will be. Doesn't matter on if this is an up arrow and this is red, do I not take the trade? Doesn't matter. The rule is, and we'll go over that if the arrow points and the arrow is pointing in a direction and it's a valid trade, take the trade no matter what the candle looks like. All right. Next is these line here. We call this a moving average. I can't tell you which moving average is part of the secret sauce of the actual indicator itself. So that's proprietary. But let's say, for example, it's a 100 moving average. So what a moving average does is it takes the average of the last, so let's say it's a 100 moving average, the last 100 candles. These are candles, all right? Each of these are candles. So it's going to look at the closing price of the last 100 candles, and it's going to move because when one candle or a new candle starts forming, it drops the oldest candle off as the newest candle at the very beginning, and therefore that's how you get price moving. That's how this line moves up and down all day long based off of price moving up and down. When price is underneath the moving average, we're typically in a downtrend. When price is above the moving average, we're typically in an uptrend. All right. Now, we'll talk more about that in another strategy, but that's how that works. This shaded area, you probably heard me talk about it. This is the money zone. Now, it's called the money zone because during this 12-hour time frame, over 80% of all money is traded during the Forex market, in the Forex market. As you guys know, if you don't know, there are $6.8 trillion a day traded. So every 24 hours, there are $6.8 trillion traded in the Forex market. Over 80% of it is traded during this 12-hour window. That's over $5.64 million is traded. $1 trillion is traded during this time frame. So that's why I call it the money zone. And this is the best time to trade because there's two things you always want to do. You always want to trade when the money trades, and you always want to trade with the trend of the money. All right. And this indicator helps you to understand the trend of where the money is going. All right. So last but not least, as you guys already know, the pip counter is here. We already went over what that does earlier, and that is AIRO. Now, those are all the different aspects of it, except for the arrows. The arrows, there are 3 different strategies built into them. Doesn't really matter, but I'll explain to you what they are. There is a confirmed trend change, a continuation trend, and a counter trend strategy. 3 different strategies. All right. You won't know which is which. All you know is there's an arrow. I can tell you right now, this is a counter trend, this is a confirmed trend, and this is a continuation trend. I know it because I understand my strategy that's behind these arrows. Again, my goal was not to actually teach my strategy, but to give you an indicator that follows the strategy, because I found that teaching the strategy is not as easy than having a visual indicator with simplistic rules. So here are these simplistic rules of strategy number 1, which is the strategy I recommend you need to master before you try to use any other strategy. All right, so first step, there's 3 steps in the strategy. They will be also in the actual paperwork or the PDF that I send out after this call. Look out for that. So strategy number 1, rule number 1, identify the trend. How do you identify the trend? Simple, zoom out. I typically zoom out twice. It all depends on how zoomed in you're in when you set your default chart. Count your zones. If you have more red zones than green zones, you're in a downtrend. If you have more green zones than red zones, you're in an uptrend. So let me pull up. You can see here, Euro JPY, we have more green zones than red zones. We're in an uptrend. GBP JPY, we have zones than green zones. We're in a downtrend. So what does that tell me? That tells me that I need to, sorry about that, guys. Downtrend tells me that I need to only look for sales or down arrows. That's it. I don't look for nothing else. All right. That's number 1. Identify the trends. I know sell trend. All right. Step number 2, only take trades inside the money zone. You have 12 hours out of the day to take trades inside this money zone. When you get more experience, you can start taking trades outside the money zone. But as of right now, only take trades inside the money zone. They are the most highly probable entries you will have. All right. So identify the trend, only take trades inside the money zone. Step number 3, only take bag entry trades inside the money zone in the direction of the trend. So if I know I'm only looking for down arrows, then I go in here. What's a bag entry trade? Bag, yes, bag stands for get paid, get money. And for us, if you fall bag correctly, you will get paid, you will get money. It's been proven. Again, there's no guarantees, but it's been proven to be successful over a long period of time. Last 6 months, just the indicator itself. But with with the strategy itself, trading with the trend with this strategy has been proven to be successful as well. And I've been using it for over 2 years. So that's why, that's why it's a combination, or that's why it's been so successful, because it's been proven over time to have worked. So I knew it would work as long as I built a visual indication of it. All right. So as you see here, we're inside the money zone. This is up. We know we're only looking for down trades. All right. We got a pretty close to bounce here. Let me go find one for sure that bounced, and I'll show you what I mean by it. We know we're only looking for uptrends here, up trades. All right. All right, so you can see here, we know we're looking for sales. This GBP USD. Zoom out, more red than green. We see that. 3 red, 1 green. All right, zoom back in. Let's go back a couple days so we can see it. You can see here, the ball that we talked about, and ball example, the price came up, hit the ceiling, bounced off, reversed, came below the moving average, turned red, or the pinkish color, had a down arrow, all right? We get in the trade. Next candle right here. We would have gotten the trade right here. This arrow will only show up when this candle is done forming and this next candle right here starts to form. So we'd get in right here on this candle right here, and we take the trade for 20 pips. You can see here in 15, 30 minutes, it dropped 31 pips. 30 minutes or less, most likely less, because it went down here and came back. So we'd have got 31 pips. We got our 20 pips. Our stop loss is 40 pips, which is way back here. Didn't even come anywhere close to it. It went backwards, caught 4.5 pips. So it went backwards 4.5 pips, and it dropped in less than 30 minutes, 31 pips. And we're done. We're in and we're out. It hit 20 pip take profit. We didn't come anywhere near our stop loss. We are done with that trade. That is how that works. That is the bag entry. Now let's go look at it for a buy. That's not a good example. No real bounce. And I tell you guys, so that you guys understand here, sometimes it's hard to go back and back test because some of the trades, the zones will not be there because, again, as you guys already know, the zones disappear when price breaks through them. That is made intentionally for that, all right? So I just want you guys to follow the rules, and we should be good. It's been proven over and over. 4 green, 4 red. We'll talk about what to do if they're even. All right, so if they're even, let's say we're looking at this day, right here, on this day, back here on these candles or on these arrows right here, which means these two didn't exist, which means you only have these 3 red and these 3 green. So it's even. And then so what you do is you want to measure the distance between your 2 inner zones. So from here to here, that's 38 and a half pips. You don't take any trades. You must have 50 pips or more between the 2 zones to be able to take trades in both directions. So if you have more red zones than green zones, only take sales. If you have more green zones than red zones, only take buys. If you have even number of zones and the 2 inner zones are 50 pips or more apart, you can take trades in both directions. All right. But I want to give you an example of what a bounce arrow go trade looks like for a buy. Price bounced off the green zone. You had an up arrow here. You get in the trade. Next candle, set stop loss down here at 40 pips. Set stake profit at 20 pips, and you run with it. This trade is invalid because there's only 38 and a half pips between the two, so we wouldn't have took that trade. That just gives you an idea of what a bounce arrow go looks like for a buy. All right. Now, before I go on to the next strategy, let me stop sharing and answer some questions. The announcements chat should not be locked. If you are in the arrow bag chat channel, I will replace in that channel the announcements channel for you guys. All right, cool. Yeah, somebody. So yeah, thank you. Multiple people have put in inside the actual chat channel, the arrow bag chat channel. They put in there the actual announcements channel. I'm gonna re-put it in there again for those who need to see it. I'm gonna title it Arrow Announcements Channel page. Boom. There's a link for it. It's inside the bag chat. All right. You do not need the auto trading on, not for the indicator. I have it on because I run EAs on this chart. So don't worry about that. You don't need the auto trading button on. I don't know. I've only used one RDP. The question is one RDP better than another? I recommend utilizing the RD client, the Microsoft RD client. It has been very reliable for me. Again, Robert, Robert asked a question about it. What if trading within the highlighted zones consolidating? No trade, exactly. I just gave you guys the rules. When you enter into a trade or look to enter a trade, you must have 20 pips. Let me go ahead and show you guys that here. So GJ went over looking for sales. So we got on this candle. So from the bottom of this candle here, there must be 20 pips between here and the next opposite color zone. So the zone it bounced off of, you see here, bounce was here. The zone it bounced off a red zone, which means there must be more than 20 pips, 20 pips or more between your entry price and the next opposite color zone. Whether you see it or if you don't see one, you're good. If you see one, then there need to be more than 20 pips. You can see here, this is 127.6, so we're good. You must have 20 pips distance or more between where you're going to get in at and the next opposite color zone. So if you bounce off a red zone, the opposite color zone is green. If you take a bag entry off a green zone, the next opposite color zone, of course, is red. All right. Yes, the trailing stop loss will work with the bag entry if that's what you want to utilize again. If you know how to use that, you can. If you accidentally close the alert window, so you'll get a pop-up every time there is a arrow pops up. Every time an arrow pops up, you get an alert on the chart. And I'll show you guys how to set up to your phones as well. If you accidentally close that, you cannot reopen it. No, you can't reopen it. If you miss the original alert and you try to catch it 30, 45 minutes, an hour later, don't even worry about it. Wait for the next one. Do not chase a trade trying to catch pips. The money zone comes up at midnight Central Standard Time. All right. Midnight Central Standard Time. If you have an alert come up, you need to get a trade right then and there. Forex pairs move. Don't waste time. If you don't have time to get onto a trade, don't worry about taking the trade. All right. This is not a EA. You're not accepting trades. This is manually trading. If you miss the entry because you're 15, 30, 45 minutes, an hour late, don't worry about it. You missed it. Wait for the next trade. There are more pairs. There's always going to be a new setup, guys. The new guy took 71 trades in 1 week. That's 71 trades. And I guarantee you he didn't take all the trades he could have took because he had to sleep. There's always going to be another setup on another pair or the same pair just later on. Do not worry about missing trades. All right. Last but not least, I will show you guys two more things. Number one is I'm going to show you how to get the alerts onto your phone. And then I'll show you strategy number three. We're not going to go over two. As I explained on the last call, every time I launch a new strategy, we will only go over the new strategy. And then once we're done launching all the strategies, there's 7 strategies. This week, strategy number 4 comes out. So we'll go over that one. So strategy number 4 launches this week. Once we've launched all strategies, we're done. So we rehashed number 2. This call will only be a call that goes over number 1. I'm only rehashing the new strategies as I'm launching them. Once we've launched all strategies, this call will only be a call about setting up AIRO, going over AIRO, basics of trading or basics of using MT4, and strategy number 1. All right, this is a beginner call. So if you don't think you need to be on this call, you're not a beginner, and you're here, thank you. If you don't need to be here, you definitely can leave. More of the in-depth strategies we'll go over on the live trading calls. All right. And again, there's going to be more than one call coming up soon. Next year, we will be broadening the calls. We're going to start off with the money zone. So starting next year in January, if not beginning of February, we will have a live Zoom room open for the entire 12 hours of the money zone on Wednesday. All right. That way you guys have 12 hours to be able to get on a live call, potentially catch trades, as well as ask questions to learn. It won't just be me. There'll be other educators on helping to train as well. So how do you receive notifications on your phone? So you want to select tools on the menu bar, go to options. From here, you want to come to, let's see here, notifications. And then on notifications, you want to select enable push notifications. All right, on enable push notifications, after you go into your phone, you want to have your MT4 downloaded onto your actual phone. All right, you want to select settings, and then you want to select chat and messages. You can see here on my phone here on the very bottom, you're going to have my MetaQuotes ID number. You type that in here. Select test. It's going to send you a test to your phone that looks like this here. These are tests. Actually, these are legit because these are becoming through because I have mine set up. It'll send you a test. When your test comes through and you see it, you know it's good. You select OK. All right. You select OK. And now every time you get a pop-up or an arrow pops up, you will receive an alert. Now, it will only work for whatever time frame you are on or whatever chart you're on. So if you have all 10 charts up and you have M15 on and AIRO on all 10 charts, then you will receive alerts for all 10 pairs. If you only have 2 pairs up, you're only going to receive alerts on 2 pairs. You must have every alert up, every chart up that you want to receive alerts on. So however many pairs you want to trade, you must have the chart up and you must have AIRO on that chart. Then you will receive an alert to your phone. All right. And then lastly, we're going to go over strategy number 3. Strategy number 3 is the Great Britain Pound Asia breakout. Now, what does that mean? Well, let's see here. Again, as I talked about on the strategy, make sure you go and watch the video. There are multiple sessions where Forex is traded around the world. All right. So we want to catch price when it breaks the Asia session. How do you identify the Asia session? The Asia session is between the dotted line here, which is the period separator, and the beginning of the money zone. This is why having the money zone set to the appropriate time frame is needed. You now have the setting, or will here when the update comes out, to be able to update the money zone. All right. So from the period separator to the beginning of the money zone, that is Asia session right here. You can see here, Asia session typically is slow. And then once it gets inside the money zone, it gets real volatile. That's where the money is traded at. So to set it up, you want to select your horizontal line. All right. Put it on here. If you double click the horizontal line, you'll see I have a white dot at either end. That means I now can click and drag and move it. If I double click it again, the white dots go away. I cannot drag and move it anymore. So to move, drag and move it, you double click it. All right, to drag and move it. Also, you want to make sure the dotted white lines are on there so that when you right click on it, you can go to properties and you can change the color if you want to. So for me, I'll change it to yellow. I like yellow. It stands out a little better. Hit OK. Boom. It's yellow. I now move it. All right. So to identify the Asia trend, you want to set up your horizontal lines at the top, the highest point at Asia session, and the lowest point. Don't worry about the wicks, only at the body of the candle. Wick means price used to be there. Body means that's where price was, ended at. So price ended here, went back up, price ended here, came back down. These are the highest points at the body of the candle. All right, that's step number one, setting up your parameters of Asia session. You'll start doing this, typically you want to start doing this 30 minutes, 15 to 30 minutes before the money zone starts. That way you're ready to go when the money zone, because sometimes the very first candle in the money zone will give you the entry. So now that I've set this, step number two is I want to measure the distance between each horizontal line. So I select crosshairs, I select the top line, and I hold it, drag and drop all the way down to the bottom line. You can see there, 41.6. So the distance between these two is 41.6 pips. It says 416 pips, but we know that means 41.6. If this zone is more than 50 pips or more wide and distance between two, the trade is invalid. Do not take the trade. Why? Do not take the trade because the ADR, average daily range. These pairs typically, the 10 pairs I recommended typically only move between 80 and 140 pips per day. So if it's already moved 50 pips during this Asia session, the chance of it moving even more inside the money zone, the probability lessens. So therefore, if it's 50 pips or more distance between the two, do not take the trade. And so I forgot, I skipped a step. So first step one is identify the trend. So, you zoom out, more red than green. We know we're only looking for sales. All right. We do not care about buys. We're only looking for sales. All right. Step number two, set up your horizontal lines. Top, bottom, at the body, in between your highest point and your lowest point, in between the period separator and the start of the money zone. All right. Now, step number three, you wait until the first candle inside the money zone goes in the direction of the trend. So this candle closed below the money zone. You see here, because it closed below the money zone and it closed for a sale. It closed below because I know from a trend standpoint, I'm only looking for a sale. If price went above it, we wouldn't take the trade. It's invalid. But price went below it. There's nothing in, we make sure there's no green zone 20 pips away. We know there's not. And so great. Guess what? We get in the trade on this candle. When this one closes, it closed below the money zone. Closed inside the money zone underneath what we call the Asia channel. Take the trade 20 pips. And you can see here this bad boy dropped over 135. That is how you trade the Great Britain pound Asia breakout. Let's go look at a buy real quick and answer more questions, and we'll call it a night, guys. For me, let's go look here. So assuming we're in an uptrend right here, let's just assume, all right? That way I can give you guys the parameters. I come in here, boom, that's the lowest point right there. Lowest point at the body, right there on the period separator. And then the highest point is right here. This candle is the highest point at the body before inside the money zone. And you can see here, boom, the first candle came above the money zone and closed above the money zone. I mean, the Asia channel. So, we're assuming we're in an uptrend. We're assuming we're in an uptrend. So I just show you guys this for example purposes. So we know we're uptrend. We measure the distance. Distance is 26 pips. Cool. So we know we're valid. Boom. We got a price closed above the Asia channel here. And so now we know that, all right, great. 20 pip take profit. It ran up 90 pips. It went backwards 16.8, call it 17 pips. We have a 40 pip stop loss. We have a 20 pip take profit. We would have won this trade. All right. That is how you trade the Great Britain Pound Asia breakout. Let me stop here, answer some more questions. As I explained, guys, you're not going to see where you can put in the time for the money zone because the new update has not come out yet. I'm not going to explain what to do when the new update comes out because you will see that in the announcements channel. That is the last time I'm going to bring that up, guys. Please pay attention on these calls. I do not trade on Sundays or Fridays. They are trap days. I recommend you guys not do the same thing. So if you want to trade Monday through Thursday, sure. I wouldn't recommend it. Will it work? Of course. You can go back and take a look, but you want to, again, trade when it's highly probable. So for me, I don't really start trading unless it's Monday to Thursday night, going into Friday morning, which is Asia session. Friday, New York session, the start, of the session for the week on Sunday when at 4 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central when it opens. I don't really trade. This is when the market makers trap you. I will show you guys in strategy number 6 what the market makers do to you guys at the beginning of the week and the end of the week to trap you in the trades. I saw somebody in the group said they blew their account this weekend because they held trades. Never hold a trade over the weekend unless you are swing trading and you are deep in profit and you know what you're doing. Otherwise, you don't need to do it because especially now with the economic climate we're in, the Great Britain pound pair shot up is the UK came out and said that, hey, we want the vaccine to come out. So they approved the vaccine to be sent, for COVID to be sent out to all their Pfizer and the other company. They approved their vaccine to be sent to their the people that live in the UK. The UK, Great Britain pound. That part of the country, their currency is the Great Britain pound. There's also some news around Brexit. For those who don't understand what that means, Brexit, the European Union, or Europe, is trying to leave the European Union. The UK is trying to leave the European Union. That affects the Great Britain pounds. So between those two, that is what sent, as you guys know, the Great Britain pound pairs have been in a long downtrend for days, actually over a week. The reason why they were adjusted was because of the those two big factors, those two big news factors. All right, stuff like that happens over the weekend. Which, if you're just scalping and you come back, you can blow your whole account. Some people have done so. I've never blown my account, but I've significantly been in bad drawdown because I held trades over the weekend. I do not do it. I wouldn't recommend doing it until you understand what you're doing. All right. Strategy number 4, just like all other strategies, will be launched on Thursdays. Every Thursday, a new strategy will be dropped. All right. New strategy will be dropped every Thursday. This call will be recorded. and post in the announcements channel. That way you can go back and rewatch. All calls are recorded and they are put into the announcements channel. That way you can watch later on. All right. I advise you to watch certain aspects of these calls so that you can learn what it is you need to learn. Then go back and test it out on your actual demo account. Once you get consistent at catching pips and making money on your demo, then switch to live. All right, I don't see any new questions. The Hugo's Way time zone is, I forgot the name of the time zone they used. If you type in Google, Hugo's Way broker time zone, whatever broker you're using, type in that broker name and time zone into Google, you will find it. Google is your friend, guys. YouTube is your friend. All right. If you have questions, definitely feel free to ask, but you can also find it using other resources like Google and YouTube. I guarantee it's there. The channel needs to be less than 50 pips for strategy 3. I just went over it, guys. Please pay attention. The channel must be less than 50 pips for you to take a trade. Not 20, not 30, not 40, less than 50. If it's 50 pips or more, Asia channel, do not take the trade in London or inside the money zone. The videos are in back office, AP Academy. Guys, I get 1,000 messages one-on-one. I try to answer all I can, but I'm going to stop answering basic questions that are covered in all the material. That just tells me you don't want to take the time to invest in yourself. You have to take the time. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. You have to take the time to invest. I've done a lot of the work for you. You don't have to invest the last 4.5 years mastering and learning and blowing money. You need to invest a couple hours to watch the videos, go over the PDF I'm getting ready to drop in the chat, demo trading, to understand how to use MT4, to understand how the strategies work, to understand how the actual AIRO software works, so that you can start to be consistent. No one's going to do it for you. The group is there to help. I'm here to help. Other leaders are here to help, but you have to do it for yourself. All right? So we are at 1 hour and 51 minutes. We've only been on here for 2 hours. I think everybody that stayed on the call, we're still over 100 on this call. I'm getting ready to drop the PDF into the chat. It'll also be dropped into the announcements chat. The announcements chat does not have a whole bunch of chat in it. It's only a one-way. It's myself and HQ only sending messages to you guys. So there's less messages in there, which means you can go in there and scroll and find very quickly the information you need. So look out for that. And then here shortly, look out for the update version, the announcement on the update in the announcements channel as well. I typically will forward that announcement from the announcements channel to the chat channel as well. All right. In the meantime, I appreciate everybody jumping on the call. Practice proper risk management this week, and I'll see you guys in the funding paper.